Mike Trout, baby, he's making it rain. The boy got paid. Gotta pick up all these $1 bills. I don't have Mike Trout money. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Talking about some MLB news. What's it been, like 2-3 weeks? I guess Harper was kind of the last one we did, but we got some news today, and it's about Mike Trout signing a 12-year. We came out at first with $430 million. It looks like it's gonna be $426.5 million for 12 years, basically paying him about $36 to $37 million annually, making him not only the highest paid player annually, but also the most lucrative, the most expensive contract in MLB history. Now, this isn't technically a new contract from free agency. This is an extension, but there's nobody who signed a 12-year $400 million, let alone $426.5. This is, without a doubt, the biggest contract in Major League Baseball history, and I think it's the biggest in all pro sports. I'm not talking about boxing with Canelo, whatever he did. I'm talking about baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. We also got news about the Yankees signing Gio Gonzalez. Also, we got news about Dylan Betances hitting the injured list, which is big news for Yankee fans as well. Some updates on Keuchel and Kimbrel if we got them. And we'll just talk about anything that we've missed so far in the past couple weeks about baseball. Because as you guys know, I've been away. I was in Arizona. You can see I'm a nice little tan boy now. But I was going around interviewing players at the minor league camps, talking to them, getting to do some videos out there. So if you haven't seen the Seattle Mariners video, which was the first of the 9-day trip, there'll be a link in the description down below. Make sure you go click it. Now, of course, as always, before we do get going into the analysis of this Mike Trout move and everything else in this video, make sure to leave a like on it. That's the best way to support the channel and, you know, just be awesome. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. It's been a while since I've been saying this stuff. I mean, I took 10 days off essentially from making videos, so it feels good to be back asking for likes and subs. Also, make sure to get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this move. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts and opinions? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And last but not least, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. So like I said at the beginning of the video, Mike Trout re-signs or signs an extension with the Los Angeles Angels, 12 years, $426.5 million, making him the richest player in baseball history on one contract, as well as the highest paid player annually in Major League Baseball. This is huge news. One thing, I don't have to root against Mike Trout. Thank you, baseball gods. You may have not answered my prayers with making the Mets a World Series champion just yet, but at least I don't have to root against Mike Trout. How does anybody root against them? Well, I'll tell you how I would root against them if he went to the Yankees, or if he went to the Phillies, or if he went to the Braves, or the Nationals. But the other two were more likely destinations. So he's not going to Philly, which is fantastic, because I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a done deal. I thought he was guaranteed to go to Philly. I thought there was no way he wasn't. He's a Philly boy. He's from New Jersey, but he's from South Jersey, which it's Philly. He's like a diehard Eagles fan, diehard Sixers fan. I thought he was going there for sure, but he's not. He's staying in LA. So I get to root for Mike Trout. Don't really care about Bryce Harper. I rooted against you for most of your career already as a National. And this is a huge deal for baseball. What we've seen recently is a lot of players signing extensions before their contract's up because free agency just hasn't been kind to players hitting the market. Of course, Bryce Harper broke a record this year. Manny Machado broke the record before him a couple weeks earlier. Bryce Harper, I think, held that record for 17 days, and Machado was like, I don't know, 10 or 15. I don't see anyone breaking Mike Trout's record anytime soon. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of players in baseball right now seem to be scared to hit the free agent market. We saw Nola sign an extension this year. We saw Luis Severino. We just saw Mike Trout. We saw Arenado. These are some of the best young players in all of baseball, and they're not hitting the free agent market, which leads to the whole problem that we've seen with free agency recently, which is players not getting paid. I mean, we saw Adam Jones sign for $3 million to the Arizona Diamondbacks, which is insanely cheap. Carlos Gonzalez, I think, signed to the Indians for under $5 million. We'll talk about him later in the video, but Gio just signed to the Yankees for about $3 million if he makes the Major League team. Dallas Keuchel, Craig Kimbrel are still unsigned, and those are arguably one of the top players at each of their positions. Keuchel, one of the best left-handed pitchers in all of baseball. I mean, a few years ago probably, but he's still probably top 10 lefty. Craig Kimbrel, the best closer in all of baseball, arguably one of the best closers of all time. Yeah, that's right. Look at his numbers. Just look at him. Look at his ERA and WHIP. And I don't want to say that Mike Trout signed this because he's afraid to hit free agency. I think anybody who has the slightest bit of a clue on how baseball works knows that Mike Trout was going to get $400 million no matter what. But I think this just speaks to Mike Trout as a player more. He seems to be a guy who, obviously we know he likes to keep it super low-key, likes to keep everything on the down low. And I think what it really shows is that he was really comfortable in LA. He loved being a Los Angeles Angel. He wants to be an Angel for the rest of his career, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Trout was going to be a free agent after the 2020 season. It was going to be him and Mookie Betts leading that free agent class, and now he's gone, so it's pretty much just Mookie. Is Mookie going to sign an extension before he hits free agency? I don't know. He kind of has an interesting scenario here because obviously he's up there with Mike Trout and he's up there with Nolan Arenado, guys who got huge contracts this offseason. But he's not going to get more than Mike Trout, but he'll probably get more than Arenado. So what is he getting paid? About $34-35 million a year. That's still a lot of money, but I could see it happening. The Red Sox like to spend money, and he's obviously one of the best players in the league. He's clearly number 2. But back to Mike Trout. What this means essentially for baseball, Mike Trout, Los Angeles Angels fans, is that Mike Trout is going to finish his career as Los Angeles Angel. He's going to only wear that hat his entire entire career. I can't imagine a world where he plays a game in a different uniform at this point, especially with this 12-year contract. He's 27 years old. This contract will take him into his 39, 40-year-old season. There's no opt-out clauses in the deal. He obviously isn't going to be getting traded. Mike Trout is going to be a Los Angeles Angel for life. And at the end of this contract, there's a very good chance that the Los Angeles Angels had the greatest baseball player of all time on their team for his entire career. This is Derek Jeter-like stuff. There's not many players that play their entire career on a team, especially that are this good. I mean, think of some of the best players in the recent years, in the last 20 years. They kind of have hopped around teams. Sammy Sosa wasn't a Cub. Mark McGwire wasn't a Cardinal his entire career. Derek Jeter's kind of the only guy. A-Rod hopped around teams. Manny Ramirez hopped around teams. You even had pitchers at the end of their careers going places. Pedro Martinez, Tom Glavine, Adrian Beltre. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a few names that maybe stuck around a little bit longer in some of their specific spots, but think about some of the greatest players of all time in the last 30 years. It's very hard to find a guy who stayed with one team for his entire career. So this really does mean something big for baseball. And like I said with Mike Trout, if he continues to keep up the pace that he's been playing at, and there's no signs of him slowing down whatsoever, he is going to be the greatest baseball player of all time, who in my opinion currently is Barry Bonds, but Mike Trout's going to blow him out of the water if he continues to play like this. Since playing his first full season in 2012, Mike Trout has been unbelievable. He has finished in the MVP voting at lowest fourth. Every year he's either fourth, first, second, or third. His lowest finish was fourth. And that was in 2017, where he only played in 114 games. His rookie year, he was second in the MVP voting. The following year, second. Then he won an MVP. Then he finished second. Then he won another MVP. Then he finished fourth. And then last year he finished second. He's just so, by and large, better than everyone else in baseball. Mookie Betts is close, but it's also not. It's crazy. Consistency this guy puts up every single year is something that we haven't seen in quite some time. I mean, Barry Bonds type numbers. He may not be putting up the Bonds, A-Rod, Manny Ramirez crazy numbers, 40, 50 plus home runs a year, but the dude's consistently hitting 35 plus, hitting above 300, having an on-base percentage over 400, slugging percentage over 600, OPS over 1,000. I mean, these are some video game type numbers. Oh, and he's pretty good in center field as well. So Mike Trout, I'm super pumped for you. Congratulations. You just got paid almost $500 million to play baseball. That is something we all dream of. And you get to stay with the Los Angeles Angels, and I don't have to root against you. I can watch you and be happy when you succeed, because it's coming. Mike Trout is due. He's too good of a player to not have been on a successful team yet, and it's not his fault. The Angels have just been, well, they've been a screw up pretty much. So Mike Trout, good stuff. I love that you got paid and you're staying there. The other bit of news we'll talk about is Gio Gonzalez signing a minor league contract with the New York Yankees. He gets $3 million if he makes it to the major league roster, which we expect him to do because Luis Severino and CC Sabathia look like they're going to be out for some time, probably about the first month of the year. Gio Gonzalez, of course, was a player that I wish the Mets would sign because he grew up a Mets fan and the Mets could use some rotation depth, and especially seeing how cheap he signed for. How did we not get Gio Gonzalez? How? Now, speaking as Gio as a pitcher, 2018, not his best season. He had a above 4 ERA, a little rough here and there, had some issues with walks. 2017, pretty decent year. The walks, again, still a problem. He's not going to be a guy who strikes out a ton of batters either, but he had an ERA under 3 at 2.96, and he finished 6th in the Cy Young voting. Overall, as a back end of the rotation kind of pitcher, I think he's really good. He's going to get some innings for you. He's a crafty little lefty, and honestly, at the end of the day, he's pretty consistent. So as long as he's not your ace, I think Gio Gonzalez is a great pickup. So for the New York Yankees, I think if you're a Yankees fan, you should be very happy. All I've been hearing about from Yankee fans is we don't have enough pitching. We don't have enough pitching. We don't have enough pitching. Well, now you got Gio, and then when CC and Severino come back, you got them. You got Jordan Montgomery, who's coming on this way up. You got Jonathan Loaisiga. Adding Gio Gonzalez gives you that extra depth. You have a lot of guys with a lot of opportunity to make some names for themselves, and I think the Yankees are going to be just fine. That rotation really is actually pretty good. And then the other bit of Yankee news that we'll talk about is Dellin Betances is going to start the year on the injured list. That's right. It's no longer the DL, the disabled list. It's the injured list. There's no timetable for his return. Cashman came out and said he has a shoulder impingement. He's not going to throw for about 3 to 5 days. Betances also reported late to camp because his son was born during spring training, so he's had a little bit of a later start than normal. Overall, I don't think this should be something that Yankee fans are worried about. You stack that bullpen up this offseason, so I think you're going to be just fine. This is why you got guys like Ottavino, Chad Green, Zach Britton, Aroldis Chapman. I mean, oh my god, that bullpen's so good. I didn't get a chance to make a video on this because obviously I was away in Arizona, but Carlos Gonzalez signed with the Cleveland Indians, finally giving them an outfielder that everyone has been going, why haven't you signed an outfielder? You need one. The outfield depth isn't good. So they got Carlos Gonzalez. What I think of him as a player outside of Coors, we shall see. His numbers haven't been great as recently. He's kind of lost a lot of his power. And I'm interested to see what he does. That's a player that I wanted the Mets to get a while back, and obviously we never did, but I'm interested to see how he does in Cleveland. I know we were talking about Keuchel and Kimbrel, but there's really no news on them to talk about, so yeah, I guess that's the update is no update? And then Adam Jones, of course, signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks for $3 million. Again, dirt cheap. I couldn't believe he signed for that cheap. Unbelievable. The MLB free agency process has become so weird. Pretty much if you hit 30, it seems to be like a death sentence. You get no money, you get no years, you get nothing. So I'm confusion, but hey, that's how the free agency process seems to be working now. I'd love to know what you guys think about all these moves. The Mike Trout extension, Gio Gonzalez's new contract, Carlos Gonzalez, anything that's happened in baseball since, since I've kind of been gone in Arizona. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like on this video, best way to support the channel, as well as subscribe if you're new and you want to continue to see more. We got so much content coming at you the next couple weeks, it's insane. And baseball starts tomorrow. Who's excited? I know I'll be up at 5:30 watching that game. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description down below. And that's gonna wrap up this video. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here, as well as this is my most recent upload talking about my Seattle Mariners day on the Arizona trip. It was incredible, talking to players, doing vlogs. Good stuff. You guys should check it out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.